You're listening to Bad Girlfriend Radio. I'm your host, Bree Schmidt. I'm a relationship coach and educator offering advice and insight that is no shame, no sugarcoat, and no BS. Are you settling in your love life? Are you getting less than you deserve out of your dates or your relationship with your partner? Today, I'm talking all about getting the love that you deserve, how to avoid settling, and how to manage your expectations so you can have a thriving love life. I don't want you to waste any more time on things or people who are not right for you, so let's get started. Really quickly, before we get into today's topic, I wanted to tell you that I have launched one-on-one live coaching packages. So wherever you've been stuck with dating, relationships, even if you're just struggling to feel as lovable and amazing as you are, maybe you're struggling to show up authentically and confidently with others, listen, I have been there. I had been in that position of second-guessing myself, and then I would turn to books or like online search engines, and I would ask these highly personal questions that I had about a relationship that I felt helpless in, or maybe about a date with someone who I wasn't really sure about, or even about myself and my own anxieties. And really what I needed most was just to talk to someone who I could trust and who would focus on me and my struggles, my needs, my goals, and help me to see the blind spots about myself that I couldn't see. So if you're looking for a boost in your love life and in your life in general, join me in one-on-one live coaching calls where we can dive deep into the thoughts that are holding you back, the blocks that are keeping you stuck, and the actions and mindset shifts that will propel you into a healthier love life, healthier relationship, and healthier relationship with yourself too. I have different packages that you can choose from for these one-on-one video coaching calls, and I even have email coaching in case you want something that is more flexible and available just whenever you need it around the clock. Both of these are at breeschmidt.com, and you can just click on Work With Me. So depending on your style, you can book live video calls with me, just us two, one-on-one, or you can sign up for email coaching where I coach you just in writing and answer any questions that you have. We can discuss what's on your mind. We'll come up with action steps that you can take to reach your dating and relationship goals. And also you'll receive worksheets and other downloadable resources to keep, just like the one-on-one video clients get. So the coaching that I offer is based on cognitive behavior therapy. So we get really deep into your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and the patterns that keep showing up. It really is an inside-out transformation. I've been through this myself of feeling completely stuck, finding it so hard to connect deeply and intimately with somebody else, even though that's really what I craved more than anything, and I had no idea where to start. So if this sounds like you, go to breeschmidt.com and click on Work With Me to book your first video call with me for free, or to get started with email coaching, and you can send me your first email immediately. You have immediate access to contacting me, and we can get started on your goals right away. All right, now let's hop into today's discussion. I was recently being interviewed on an Instagram Live, and I was answering some questions that people submitted about relationships. And one of the questions was, is it true that we accept the love we think we deserve? So I'm sure most of you have heard this quote, we accept the love we think we deserve. It's so ubiquitous that I actually forgot where it was even from until I Googled it and remembered that it's a quote from The Perks of Being a Wallflower. And in that part of the book, or the movie, whichever you prefer, one character is asking why people date other people who aren't right for them. Why do good people date bad people? So the quote is basically saying that we accept the love that we think we deserve. We accept bad love because we think that we don't deserve any better. We accept people we aren't compatible with, or relationships where our needs will probably never get met. Basically, we settle. I really wanted to dive into this topic today and get deeper into this question that person on Instagram had asked me, because I think a lot of us have wondered if we're settling, or maybe we've chosen partners and relationships that didn't give us what we deserved in the past, right? Maybe because we thought we didn't deserve better back then. Maybe even now you're still struggling with this. And so first, back to that original question in the Instagram Live, I answered by saying, yes, we do accept the love that we think we deserve. And sometimes also we can only see the love that we think that we deserve. We can't recognize anything outside of what our expectations are, or what we've seen before, or what we believe that we're worth. Basically, we can't receive love beyond the love that we think we deserve. So think of it this way. If you've always learned that love looks a certain way, then you may be suspicious or actually just blind to anything beyond that. Let's say that you grew up feeling like you had to win over your parents. You had to win them over to get love. You had to do things to make them proud of you in order to receive affection. Going into romantic relationships, then, you may take on a similar role and similar behaviors, and you choose partners who might be distant, emotionally avoidant, but you are so used to having to win people over and perform to get their love that just kind of seems natural to you. If someone else approaches you and you don't really have to work to win them over, you may even be scared off. Like, why is this person so available? Are they desperate? They haven't even seen me perform for them. They haven't even seen me try to convince them of how valuable I am and how worthy I am. So why do they already think that I'm worthy? What is going on? Think about it. Have you ever been turned off by someone who was attracted to you because you didn't have to work at it? Have you ever been turned off by that fact, the fact that you didn't really have to work to win them over? It seemed too easy. They seemed too easy. I talked in my last episode about mind games, and we have learned that mind games and playing hard to get are part of dating, even though they don't have to be. And in order to actually build a healthy relationship, they shouldn't be. We shouldn't be playing mind games if we actually want a sustainable, healthy relationship. But a lot of us have learned that anyone who is too easy isn't valuable. Now, do you ever hold yourself to this same expectation? Do you ever feel that you need to work to show someone that you're worthy? And if you didn't have to work at it, then it's all just too easy, and then you feel suspicious why they're interested in you. If we have always had to work to receive love and affection, then you may continue to pursue people who are a challenge and who you have to work to win over, because you only know love to be something that requires work. Listen, mutual love requires mutual work, but receiving love does not require working to earn it. Love requires mutual work. Both people must work to communicate and be vulnerable and face their fears that come up when they're intimate and just all the things. Those things do require work to grow as a couple. But receiving love does not require working to earn it. Love is not earned. But if this is the only love that you know, you can only see this love. Any other kind of love, even if it may result in a healthier relationship, you can't even recognize it as love. It's like someone is speaking a foreign language to you, and then they keep repeating the same foreign phrase over and over, and you just keep staring at them like, hello, I hear you, but I still don't understand you. Maybe this is just me projecting my own experiences I have while living in Japan and not being fluent in Japanese. But seriously, we accept the love that we think we deserve, but also we only can see the love that we think that we deserve. We can only receive love that we understand. We can only receive a love from others that makes sense to us. And this can relate to how we feel about ourselves too. If you can't see yourself as being worthy of love and affection, then you will likely have a blind spot for anyone who can. I'm going to say that one more time. If you can't see yourself as being worthy of love and affection, then you will have a blind spot for anyone who can. Does that make sense? Want to have a partner who treats you with respect and patience and supports you and treats you like a human instead of an object? Well, start with believing that you deserve that. If you usually think of yourself and can only come up with negative judgments about yourself, then number one, those judgments, well, they're not accurate, they're not facts. And number two, how is that helping you in your love life, really? Chances are it's not. And if you're struggling a bit with the concept of self-love, I understand completely, because all over social media and like Lizzo songs and wherever we look, there are often these really empowering and well-intentioned messages about loving yourself. Like it's something that you just decide. You just decide like, hey, today I'm going to love myself. And then once you decide to love yourself, you are waking up every day, looking in the mirror, falling in love with the reflection looking back at you. You're like dancing around, celebrating the fact that you, this beautiful creature, gets to be alive and the world should be full of gratitude for your existence. And you just start living a life of falling in love with yourself every day and night. If that's what self-love sounds like to you and you cannot relate, well, me too. You were not alone. Some of these messages about loving yourself, to me, sometimes they just seem too simplified and kind of unrelatable. And so if you're struggling with the concept of self-love, just put self-love aside. If that kind of image doesn't really resonate with you, put that aside and start with self-acceptance. You don't have to love everything about yourself. You don't have to shower yourself every day with self-affirmations, whatever positive affirmations, positive vibes only. You can accept the imperfections and the struggles because it's part of who you are. You are not perfect. You are not flawless, actually, but that's okay. If you look in the mirror and you think, well, I'm a bit average, but that's all right with me, then great. If you see a stretch mark and you think of a time when, that stretch mark didn't exist on your thigh, but now it does, and hey, you're older and you're wiser and, you have more stretch marks now and you can accept that, that's great. If you accept your mental health struggles, your anxiety, your depression, your late nights crying, and you can accept that as part of your reality rather than something to fight and be ashamed of, then great. If you see that sometimes you're a bit reactive or you throw a fit when you don't get what you want or you struggle with being compassionate sometimes, but hey, you're working on it, you're growing, then that's fantastic, good enough. Start with self-acceptance. Accept who you are right now. And when I say accept, I mean accept. This is you. Look at how far you've come. You don't need to change to be worthy. You can change to grow, but who you are right now is already worthy of a good love. If you're having a hard time accepting yourself, it's going to be hard for you to accept someone else who accepts and loves you. Think about it. If you're always having these negative thoughts about yourself and you really believe these thoughts, even if they're not factual, they're just a judgment, but if you really stand by these negative beliefs and thoughts about yourself, then you might be looking at someone else who can't see them and you think that they're an idiot or like they're trying to trick you maybe. Maybe that suspicion comes up again. So anyway, going back to the quote of we accept the love that we think we deserve. If you don't see yourself as being worthy of love now, deep down you're thinking that you're not good enough, you're not lovable, you're not valuable, you have nothing to offer. These really distorted beliefs, when you take those beliefs to be true, you may find yourself settling for people who aren't right for you. Another part of why this happens too is that you may be punishing yourself. If you have built so much shame in your life about who you are, you may believe that you are not worthy of love because there is truly something wrong or bad about you. So you choose people who will maybe even point out your flaws, put you down, because you don't believe that you deserve to live a comfortable, healthy, happy life with your flaws. Does that make sense? If those flaws feel so shameful to you, you may hold a lot of guilt for living a life where happiness and those flaws coexist. So what do? You choose a relationship where you feel punished, where you don't have much time to even come up for air and feel okay and satisfied and even happy. You choose a relationship that keeps you down, where you're drowning in shame, and where you may feel that you actually deserve to be. That's where you think that you deserve to be. It sounds really heavy, doesn't it? And if you can relate to this at all, I know it feels heavy to carry all of the shame and negativity. That's why I'm honestly not going to tell you right now to love yourself if that doesn't resonate with you. Just take a baby step towards self-acceptance. Step into that place of self-acceptance where you can face who you are. You can see that there are strengths and weaknesses, but who you are right now isn't wrong. You're not bad. You are absolutely deserving of love, and I do not mean a tumultuous roller coaster anxiety-ridden love. That is not love. I mean that you deserve to accept yourself and make space for people in your life who accept and support and celebrate you. You as you are right now, not even your potential, not who you might be in the future. You right now, present you. Let's stop here for a quick ad break. If you've ever made regular reading a goal before but just couldn't get in the habit, try Kindle Unlimited. I use the Kindle app on my phone, and with Kindle Unlimited, I basically have a full library at my fingertips anytime. Because there are so many different books to read on Kindle Unlimited, I have actually turned into a speed reader. I am finishing books left and right. And I try to be really mindful of how I spend my time. So when I catch myself on social media for too long or just sitting on my sofa being lazy for too long, I can just open the Kindle app and get to reading. With Kindle Unlimited, there are over 1 million titles to choose from, plus magazines and audiobooks too. And you can have them sent straight to your device immediately. Start with a free trial for Kindle Unlimited now using the link in this episode's show description. So under this episode's information, just click the link and try your first month for free. So it's obviously true that some of us settle for less than we deserve. But I wanted to switch gears a bit and talk about settling versus good enough. So when we settle, we're accepting less than what we deserve. And I'm actually just going to stop for a second and say that I don't really mean this in an entitled way. It's not that we are all entitled to just get what we want, but nobody deserves to be in a relationship where they are being belittled or manipulated or threatened or where they just can't live safely. Everyone deserves safety and security and love, period. Okay, so rant over. So settling is accepting less than that. I think also when we think of settling in relationships or romance, the image that comes to mind for a lot of us is just this really average relationship where the couple gets married, but one or maybe both of the people in the relationship are just kind of over it. There is no spark anymore. There's no romance. And they don't really have a connection. Maybe they don't really have much in common, and they're just kind of going through the motions. And thinking of this, I was reminded that some people actually do enter into arranged marriages. And who am I to actually judge? From the research I've seen, too, a lot of these couples that enter into arranged marriages, actually over time, they do report high levels of love and fulfillment. So love can look a lot of different ways, but the key is to find the one that serves you. Once you're able to establish a healthy relationship with yourself and you have that self-love, or like I said before, self-acceptance, and you truly believe that as you are now, you are worthy of good things, then it may become easier to choose partners that fit into that life that you deserve. If for you, keeping intimacy going, keeping a spark going, being able to still joke around after years together and give each other attention, whatever it may be, if that's the kind of relationship that you want, then don't settle for less. But remember, there is no perfection. I started off this episode talking about the love that we think that we deserve, kind of in terms of how the original quote meant it as being kind of a negative thing where we accept people or relationships that are not right for us or aren't healthy, right? But on the other end of the spectrum, if you think that you deserve only the best of the best, you deserve nothing less than perfection, you are also going to struggle because there is no perfect person or perfect relationship. So just as I was saying that maybe it's less about loving yourself and more about accepting yourself, that also goes for other people too. Even if you don't like everything about someone, you can love them. Even if you don't approve of everything that they do, you can accept it. And when those things do actually overstep your boundaries, set consequences or let them go. But keep in mind that no one will ever be perfect. Now, I can just hear you listening saying, I already know this. I already know no one is perfect. I'm not perfect. Other people aren't perfect. I know this already. And I know you do. I know that you know this. But I also know that you've probably at some point gotten upset with someone or even avoided going on a first date with someone because they weren't what you expected. So especially for the perfectionist types who are listening, just become aware of where you might be able to accept less than perfect. I'm not saying give up your boundaries or your deal breakers, definitely not. I've mentioned before how my husband and I, we have really different personalities, and there have been times where I've actually gotten really frustrated with him because he's so different, he's so extroverted and so laid back, so relaxed, and he can't seem to understand me. He can't understand that I'm more introverted or that I have more anxieties about things. And I've told myself in the past, this guy will never understand you. You know, a better partner would understand. Maybe a better partner is someone more like you. Yes, that's it. You need to find the male version of yourself. Yes. How many times have you ever done that? Is it only me where you've actually kind of fantasized about pretty much just like the opposite sex version of you or whatever your preferred sex is? But basically, you're just looking for a partner that is more like you. And that's also pretty funny because I'm positive that if there were two of me, we would both drive each other crazy. And the things that maybe I don't think are perfect about myself, if I saw that in someone else, then maybe I would just be criticizing them. It would just get so messy. And really, my point is that my husband being different from me is actually kind of a blessing because we can teach each other and balance out each other's extreme qualities. It wasn't what I expected. I didn't actually expect a partner like him, but in the end, I can accept it, and I can even look at those differences as being a positive thing. And I often wonder if my husband actually understood so much about me, like he can actually relate to my anxious side and my introverted side, if he actually could relate to those things from his own personal experience, maybe then I wouldn't even be able to get out of my own comfort zone so easily. Maybe I would just stay stuck in my anxious thoughts if I had someone there beside me saying like, oh yeah, I'm feeling anxious too. I can understand what you're feeling. Yeah, this is so hard. Like, I wonder if we would actually just hold each other back and both of us would just kind of stay stuck like that. I'm just kind of thinking out loud right now, but my point is that whatever perfection looks like for you, it might not even be what would best serve you anyway. Maybe there's something else beyond what you could have imagined or expected that is actually healthier for you and that will actually help you to grow more. So let go of the need for perfection and sometimes actually allow space for good enough. Good enough. Saying, it's good enough. It sounds like settling, but it's not. I don't mean settling for an empty relationship where you have no connection, no compatibility, no support for each other, and you're just going through the motions on autopilot. I am definitely not saying settling for a relationship where you're not treated with respect and warmth. That's not good enough. That's just bad. I mean, it's good enough as in a relationship that feels safe and loving and meaningful. You still have boundaries and the other person isn't doing anything that would be a deal breaker, but it isn't perfect. John Gottman has talked about good enough before in dating and relationships, and he says that partners in these kind of good enough relationships, they still have high expectations, but they also expect that there will be conflict and differences. They expect that the relationship is going to be full of trust and friendship, but they don't expect that the other person will fix them or heal them. So a good enough relationship is one that it might not look so much like a fairy tale, but it's reality. It's still healthy, it's still loving, but it's not perfect. So what kind of love are you accepting? And what kind of love do you think that you deserve? What expectations do you have? And are those expectations serving you or holding you back? Listen, this stuff can be very difficult to piece together sometimes. So if there's anything that I talked about today that you still have questions about, I would be happy to hear from you. You can DM me on Instagram. I'm at Bree_Schmidt. Or you can also email me at contact@breeschmidt.com. And like I mentioned earlier today, I am very excited to get to know more of you with one-on-one coaching. So if you want to dive deeper into your love life, go to breeschmidt.com and click on Work With Me. and start giving yourself the time and attention that you deserve without accepting anything less. All right? So head over there and book a free coaching call with me or sign up for email coaching and get started right away. Thanks for listening. As always, until next time.